Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marielle Williams.
And I'm Devin Erickson. And we would like to welcome you to a very special NBC broadcast of this year's graduation ceremony.
We're here in Centennial Center celebrating the 113th commencement for the class of 2014. And today with us is Bret Baier, Marist graduate of '88, receiving the Distinguished Alumni Award. Sophie Gonzalez and Elizabeth Kelly are with him now.
Thanks, guys. I'm Sophie Gonzalez, and this is Elizabeth Kelly, and we're here today with Bret Baier, Marist graduate of 1988, who is here at Marist today with us to address the class of 2014. Bret Baier is a Fox News anchor on his show Special Report with Bret Baier.
Thank you so much for being here today with us, Bret.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So you've been all over the world with your job. You've been to 74 different countries, right? That's some pretty big accomplishments. So what's it like coming back here to Marist after going through all of that?
Yeah, it is great to be back, and it's fun to see how the campus has changed. When I was here, it looked a lot different, a lot more buildings, but it's fun. It's like home, you know. So it's going to be great to talk to all of you today, and congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Graduation. So it's fun. It's like centering. It's like coming back home, and it feels good.
Okay. And then there have been a lot of changes here at Marist since you've left. I mean, there's the new Ivy Street building, and then the NBC Club. So when you were here at Marist, if that had been an opportunity, would you have been a part of it, or is that something you discovered later?
Yeah, no, I definitely would have been a part of it. And this is a great thing that you all are doing because it really springboards you into the business. I mean, you get a feel of what it takes a little bit. I, during my time, shadowed Ernie Johnson Jr. at WSB. He was a sports anchor. Now he's the face of TNT Sports. He's the NBA show that he does. And when I was at WSB, I was into sports, but I realized that I really liked what Monica Kaufman and the other news people were doing, and that's where kind of my love for news really started. So it really started here. So had this been available, I definitely would have jumped all over it.
Great. Well, now many of the graduates today are uncertain where their future paths will take them. What advice would you give these graduates as they're beginning this new chapter of their life?
Yeah, I would say soak it all in, enjoy the journey, don't get stressed out about not knowing how you're going to get to one place or the other. Just kind of take some time to think about what you like, what you want, and then follow that. I mean, it sounds cliche, but once you find that thing, it kind of all starts to fall into place. If you are always driving, always kind of going towards something. In journalism, and what you all are doing, I think it's good to know a lot about a lot of things. I think journalism overall is going to be a lot different in coming years. It's going to be much more on the internet, on the web. It's going to be streaming. People are going to get their news when they want it, on demand. So to try to be cutting edge as far as technology, and you guys are already starting that journey.
Right. So as you mentioned before, there's a lot of stress going around today. I mean, we're all graduating. We're starting our futures, which is pretty scary. And I'm sure you've had a lot of hectic times in your job and being a reporter. So do you have any just like general life advice for how to handle all that stress?
Yeah, I mean, breathe. That's a big one. And take time. Don't over-schedule yourself. Take time for you. As crazy as my day is oftentimes, I spend 5 minutes a day. I close my office door and I sit in silence. I turn the computer off and I sit and I meditate. I happen to, pray. Other people can do whatever. You just need silent time in your day because our days are too crazy, and you just need a little time for yourself. So that's my biggest advice.
Okay, so after you graduated from DePaul University, you were you worked as the first reporter at the Atlanta bureau for Fox News, and then you continued to work as a correspondent at the Pentagon, traveling to places like Iran and Afghanistan. How did you handle the uncertainties of being the life of a reporter and traveling abroad constantly?
Yeah, so when I started in Atlanta, you're right, it started in my apartment, actually, the Atlanta Bureau, with a fax machine and a cell phone. And it was the early stages of Fox News Channel. So I bounced around the Southeast and South America and Central America and did stories for Fox. And then 9/11 happened, and I was called up to back up in New York when that first plane hit. And when the third plane hit, I was called to the Pentagon and started doing live shots for Fox affiliates around the country that day. And I never went back to Atlanta. They asked me to be the Pentagon guy, and I stayed for 5.5 years at the Pentagon, and then 3.5 years at the White House as chief White House correspondent. And then I took over for my mentor and friend Bret Baier 5.5 years ago. So it's been quite a ride, but the experience about traveling around the world really is eye-opening. One, because I was covering the military, and you really understand the sacrifice and service of these men and women, plus their families, because they're gone so much. And then two, you also get a sense of how the world views the U.S. and other perspectives, and that's also important. I recommend, if you can, travel as much as you can.
That sounds very
Definitely.
exciting. Yeah. So, while being a reporter, you have to trust your instincts and your hunches. Were you ever in a situation where you disagreed with the majority and had to trust, what you believe is right and your instincts to get the story?
Yeah, I mean, that's happened. Sometimes in Washington there is a groupthink, even in the journalism realm, where everybody is covering it one way, and we try to look at all sides of the story, and sometimes that goes counter to what the herd is doing, and believe it or not, it happens quite a bit. So that's something we deal with almost every day.
Wow.
All right, so since being a reporter, you've gotten your own show on Fox. Now, speaking live, especially in front of a national audience, for most people would freak them out. It's kind of scary. So how do you deal with that, or does it bother you at all, especially now that you've got your own show where the nation watches?
Right. At first, when I took over for Bret, I was very nervous. That red light went on, and I was like, this could go south in a heartbeat. But then you get a feeling, you get comfortable. And I really don't get nervous anymore when the red light goes on to the start of the show. It feels comfortable to me. I'll say that when we have election nights and there are 16, 18 million people watching for a big night like that, and you're calling the presidency of the United States, there are a few butterflies that manage to get in those nights. But over time, it's a matter of doing it. And pretty soon, you're talking to the camera like you want to be talking to your family on the couch. And if we can do that and not talk down to people and make us part of their viewing family, that's what we try to do.
Yeah, it must be difficult balancing being an anchor on your own TV show, a husband, a father of 2 sons, and now an author of a new book coming out in June.
That's right.
Special Heart, a journey of faith, hope, courage, and love.
Wow.
Which chronicles...
You might have to go on the road.
I'd
good
love
pitch.
to. Yeah. Which chronicles the adversity that your son Paul has been facing with his illness. Could you please share with us what you hope that readers going through similar trials in life would gain from reading the journey of your family?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. Yeah, it comes out June 3rd. And the reason I wrote it was because I thought that it could help anybody who is going through tough times. Everybody has something to bear, some cross to bear. And this was ours. And so my son Paul, who's 7 and is just bouncing off the wall with energy, has had 3 open heart surgeries and 7 angioplasties and a stomach surgery, and you would never know on the playground. And so what this book, the genesis of it, came from a series of emails that I sent to family and friends. And then when we put them all together, we decided this could really be a book, and worked on it for about 1.5 years, and now it's here. It's pretty wild that it's here, actually. The actual book came in, and I showed it to my wife Amy, and she said, wow, so this is really happening, where this story is really going out there. But hopefully it can help people, and 100% of what the money we receive is going to go to pediatric heart disease research and treatment, every dollar. So hopefully it sells a lot of books.
That's incredible.
It's a great thing you're doing. All right, so we have one more question for you.
Yes.
You have interviewed several important, impressive people, from the president to the Israeli prime minister. What's it like being on the other side of the mic?
You know, it's the thing I say for any aspiring journalist is about interviewing. The most important thing is not the question that you have written on the paper. It is the ability to listen, because listening is the thing that gets lost. Sometimes reporters go in and they have a whole string of things, and they don't hear when the answer is different, and to be able to follow up on something that is actually the news that you have to get to. So the listening thing is the thing that I really focus on, and it takes preparation for those big interviews. Some of them, you know, the butterflies show up for a couple of them when you're going live with the president, or the Mitt Romney is leading in the race, and this interview affects things. And so preparation and listening, those are the two things I'd recommend.
All right.
Great. Well, thank you
very much.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Congratulations
Baier.
and good luck.
Thank
'Cause this
you.
is a great start.
And we're excited to hear your commencement. And thank you so much for coming on campus to share this day with us.
You're welcome.
And back to you. Thanks.
Devin, I can't believe this day is finally here.
Me either, Marielle. I can't believe time flew by so fast.
It really has. It feels like just yesterday I was roaming the halls as a 4'6" 7th grader.
I remember those days so vividly. The class of 2014 has really grown into its own for sure. From plaid skirts
To navy shirts, this senior class has experienced it all. From waiting for our carpool in front of the old Kurt gym
to signing our names in the new steel beam for the new Ivy Street Center building, we have seen Marist grow right along with us.
and we are so blessed to have been a part of it all. I can honestly say that Marist will always be some of my favorite memories. Our class has grown so close over the past 6 years.
We have, and it's sad to see that time come to an end. But we've accomplished so much, like winning the first Marist State Track and Field title last year and then coming back and doing it again this year.
And the girls' varsity tennis team taking home 3 state championships in just 4 years, and the boys bringing home a trophy this year as well.
And so many other great athletic achievements. We certainly don't lack spirit either. I remember that whiteout football game when we threw flour up into the air and screamed our hearts out in the pouring rain.
How could I forget? The class of 2014 did it big on and off the field. We supported each other through it all.
We sure did, Marielle.
But none of this success would have been possible without the help of the Marist faculty and staff. There's one person we'd like to thank in particular today, and that's Mrs. Edwards, who received the yearbook dedication from the class of 2014 this year.
Miss E, thank you for making calculus so fun. It was a blast. And we'd also like to thank campus ministry for helping us grow in our faith and strengthening our spiritual life.
I'm really going to miss going on all those retreats. And last, but surely not least, we'd like to thank our family and friends for all the support along the way.
We most definitely couldn't have done it without y'all. So, one last time, from us and the entire class of 2014, thank you for everything, Marist. Marielle, what time is it?
It's time to go graduate.
Signing off one last time, I'm Devin Erickson.
And I'm Marielle Williams.
We're all in this together.